We spend so much of life planning what's next, trying to stay on track, stay productive, stay in control, but somewhere along the way we lose something, a kind of freedom. The freedom to wander, to listen to impulse, to live without a script. Spontaneity isn't just a break from routine, it's a way of being. It's saying yes to a moment without knowing exactly where it leads. And that's where life happens, not in the perfectly planned, but in the beautifully unexpected. Today I will be exploring 3 films, Stand By Me, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, and Nomadland, and seeing how they embrace spontaneity in finding true freedom.
Mickey's a mouse, Donald's a duck, Pluto's a dog. What's Goofy?
Rob Reiner's Stand By Me is a timeless story about 4 boys who set out to find a dead body, but what they really find is each other. It's a coming-of-age film, but not your typical one around milestones. It's about small, spontaneous moments that change them forever. What makes the film so powerful is its sense of presence. The boys don't rush to get anywhere. They walk tracks, tell stories, and in between the danger and the laughter, something happens. They begin to understand the world and where they fit in it. Their freedom isn't the absence of rules. It's the absence of adult expectations and the expectations of the world around them. Out in the woods, the boys are finally allowed to just be. They ask questions no one else would listen to. They cry, they dream, and they're vulnerable to each other in ways that they could never be back home. It's in that messiness, the unplanned, unsupervised space, that they grow. Stand By Me reminds us that spontaneity isn't always fun or clean, but it's real, and it's true freedom.
When are you gonna take it?
Sometimes I don't. If I like a moment, me, personally, I don't like to have the distraction of the camera. I just want to stay in it.
Ben Stiller's The Secret Life of Walter Mitty tells the story of a man who spent most of his life watching it from the sidelines, daydreaming about adventures he's never taken, trapped in the routine of work, fear, and what if. But when his job and identity are suddenly at risk, he's forced to act. What begins as a search for a missing photo becomes something else entirely, an awakening. Walter's journey is spontaneous not because it's reckless, but because it's uncertain. He leaps into the unknown, jumping onto helicopters, scaling mountains even, and with each step, the line between fantasy and reality starts to fade. He stops imagining the life he wants, and he's truly living it. What the film shows us is that freedom doesn't always look like escape. Sometimes it's simply the courage to break routine.
It's like my dad used to say, what's remembered lives. I maybe spent too much of my life just remembering. You know what I mean?
Chloe Zhao's Nomadland tells a quieter story. Fern, a woman in her 60s, loses her home, her job, and the version of life she once knew. But instead of starting over in the traditional sense, she chooses to live differently, traveling the American West in her van, working odd jobs, meeting strangers, and embracing a life unanchored. This isn't spontaneity for the thrill of it, it's something deeper, a letting go, a rejection of permanence. Fern isn't running from her life, she's moving with it, living slowly, listening, trusting that each moment will carry her somewhere new. What Nomadland reveals is that freedom can't be quiet. It's not always bold or adventurous. Sometimes it's sitting still in a desert sunset. It's the freedom to grieve, to drift, to choose solitude over comfort. By showing us a life lived entirely in the present, Nomadland reminds us that spontaneity isn't always explosive. Sometimes it's about surrender, about choosing a life without guarantees, and and finding peace in the space that opens up. Watching these films, I'm reminded of something I've been feeling for a long time, a kind of restlessness, this quiet urge to break out of routine, to go somewhere unfamiliar. But life doesn't always make that easy. There's school, there's expectations, a version of success we're supposed to chase, grades and jobs, and sometimes I wonder if that's holding me back. That's why stories like these stay with me, because they offer a glimpse of something freer. They all choose to step off the clear path, not recklessly, but honestly. And maybe I'm not there yet, but I want to be. I want to say yes more, to let go of the pressure to have it all figured out, to be okay with drifting, with pausing, with starting something just because it feels real. Because maybe that's where freedom lives, not in escaping life, but in finally showing up for it.